right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Wildcast. Today, I am joined by another one of our amazing clients, Claire Brown. How are you today, Claire?
Wonderful, Jade. How are you?
That's good. I'm very well, thank you. It is storming here in Perth. It's meant to be spring, but I got rained on all afternoon, so I'm a little bit wet, but I'm here. We're showing up. We're making it work. Hopefully you're not experiencing the same stuff, Claire.
I live in London, so being wet and having rain is pretty much a day in and day out thing.
Very true. Very true. Is it cold over there at the moment? What season are you guys in?
So we're the opposite. So we'll go into the opposite of autumn. However, it is quite warm for this time of year, I suppose, but it's really good. But obviously in the mornings when you wake up, it is starting to get a bit chilly and you're finding it difficult to get out of bed.
Yeah, I know it's so hard when it's cold, but it's meant to be warm here, but it's not. It's just holding on to the cold weather as much as it can. But for anyone listening that doesn't know Claire, would you like to introduce yourself and tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So as Jade said, my name is Claire and I am a South African living in London. I came here about 10 years ago. So the warm weather is definitely something that I do miss, if I can be completely honest. And I have a 9-to-5 job, which is fantastic, and it takes up my time where I can go in and do something that I really enjoy and work with people. And then I also have a coaching business, which is a side hustle, where I love working with people and helping them connect with their own resourcefulness, because I strongly believe that each and every person has a potential to create their own life, and it's connecting that individual with that so they know what they're capable of. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And you're obviously in that kind of situation where are you hoping to leave the 9-to-5 to explore more of your business and what that means for yourself, or are you happy dabbling in both?
This is a funny story, right? So
do tell.
In 2020, I left the corporate world to start my own coaching business, and which I did. And then with being in lockdown, it was I'd say it was quite a challenge, because living on your own and not having that interaction with other people, you realize how important people are in your own life. So I chose actually to go back into the corporate world while having my coaching business as a side hustle. So while I do this, and I feel that I suppose it fulfills a need, if you want to put it that way, where working in the corporate world and doing something that I really enjoy, as well as the side hustle. And then I can always move on to a later stage where I've still got my coaching business, and that'll keep going. And then if I choose to give up on my 9-to-5, I can always do that at a later stage. But I really enjoy doing both at the moment. So yeah.
And you mentioned something that I've heard a lot of people talk about just in terms of their reality when they're going through COVID. What need specifically do you think it was that was being met by going back to your 9-to-5? What do you feel like you got from going back?
I'd say it's that connection with other people. Yeah, I find that in the last 12 months, I think a lot of people have realized that the importance of that connection. And actually speaking to other people. To give you an example, this past month, I've been doing different things of like going out and actually interacting with other people, just random strangers.
Yeah.
And yesterday, I actually packed all my laundry into a bag and ran down to the laundromat and sat in the laundromat while doing my washing and speaking to complete strangers.
Oh my God, we take it for granted. Wow.
You do. And it was so much fun, and just being able to speak with people that I wouldn't generally speak with on a daily basis. And I think that's the need that being in the corporate world kind of fulfills for me, because of the type of job that I do, I'm speaking to different people every single day, which is nice because you're connecting with different people and you're finding out about them as an individual and what their hopes and dreams are. And yeah, I suppose just learning and being a sponge and gaining knowledge from them and their experiences, which I think is beneficial in my experiences going forward. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And what do you do, sorry, in your 9 to 5? What's your role there?
So I work in talent acquisition. So I work as a talent acquisition coordinator. So it's scheduling interviews and meeting with candidates and creating offers. And yeah, so you're every single day working with different people coming through, as well as people within the business as well.
Yeah, wow. Which company do you work for, if you don't mind me asking?
So I work for JLL Property Investment or Property
Okay.
Management. Yeah. So
yeah, cool.
it's JLL. Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned obviously you located to the UK. So what was the original reason for you moving there?
So my mom is originally from Belfast in Northern Ireland, and she moved to South Africa and met my dad there, and that's where I was born and raised, etc. And then my mom would travel back to the UK for about 6 months and then come back to South Africa for about 6 months. So she would split her time between the two because it was looking after my gran and looking after my uncle. And then when my gran passed away, she would spend more time with my uncle because he had bipolar schizophrenia and Parkinson's. So he would have carers come in, but she would come and spend time with him as well. And then when my mom passed away, I thought, I can't split my time. So I've got to make a choice. And that's the reason why I moved to the UK, so that I could be closer to my uncle and spend more time going across on weekends and stuff like that. Because I found work in London, and that's basically where I ended up staying. But then I could still go and spend weekends and stuff like that with him. So yeah.
Well, I'm so sorry to hear about the loss of, you know, your family. That must have been really hard for you, for losing two family members.
I think it's you kind of, well, I lost my dad when I was very young, so you kind of you learn quite quickly that it's a part of life.
Yeah, wow.
I'm very much a person, I celebrate somebody when they pass on. I don't mourn them because of the life that they've accomplished. Yeah, it's I think it's something like, if you look at an individual and you look at what they've achieved in their lives, it is so important that you actually celebrate what they've done instead of mourn their loss.
Wow.
So it's especially I suppose my mom was one that I really celebrated. It was funny story. I ended up another funny story. We had the funeral and we all came back to our place for drinks and stuff afterwards, and it like everybody was talking about my mom and what a great person she was, and just having like drinks and enjoying themselves. And eventually at 2 o'clock in the morning, I said to them, guys, I really need to go sleep. You need to get out.
I'm done celebrating. Let me sleep.
I'm done. I need to go sleep now.
Wow. What a beautiful thing for your family, though. Like, no one wanted to leave. Everybody was just so comfortable celebrating your mom and sharing memories and just being together, I suppose, in such a difficult time.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it comes back to that connection and being connected with other people, which I think is really important.
Yeah, I can definitely sense that's one of your highest values. That's really beautiful. How old were you when you lost your dad? You said you were a bit younger.
So my dad, I was about 12.
Yeah.
And then but I lost my I'm trying to think of the English word, my Oma. My grandmother on his side.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. When I was really close to her. So I lost her when I was 5, and then I lost my dad when I was 12.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah.
Interesting. And I love the perspective of celebrating their life rather than mourning, because in a way, I suppose we all mourn in different ways, right? How did you learn to have that approach to loss and grief, like as opposed to sitting in that overwhelming sense of loss and grief and sadness? Who taught you to look at it that way?
I have to be honest, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just something that I've always done. So I suppose it comes from my childhood somewhere. My mother's Irish, and they have a wake. So I just always assume that's basically where I learned it. But it's always something that I've always done. Yeah,
and it's so beautiful. We actually do similar things in Australia as well. You have the funeral where you have the space to mourn and be in that space with the family, but the wake afterwards, you go and you generally celebrate their life, I suppose. And again, the connection, right? Just being around everybody, and it's that ongoing support. So that's huge. That's really cool that you mentioned that. And how do you feel like, because obviously you experience more loss and grief after that as well later on, how do you feel like having those approaches to loss has kind of served you in your life up until this point, or having that mindset around it?
I think for me, it is really important because it's a reminder that life is there to be lived. Like complete transparency, there have been times where I've lived my life just day to day, kind of like a robot, and you just get into this routine of doing things. But I think as individuals, we need to remember that life is there for us to create our own experiences, and it's there for us to find the joy in the little things. It's all about the perspective that you have. You can choose to look at a situation and label it good or bad, or you could choose just to have the experience of it and then move on and let that build a foundation for your next experience and your next experience. So it's all about the experience that you take away from things that we have in our daily lives. Like, I mean, the lockdown is a really good example where I've always been a person that I will run away from things. You know, if life was getting really challenging, I'd be booking and leave at work, packing my bags and off and travel, because I'm a massive travel person. But I realized that in lockdown, that was my tool that I used. Was I would run away and disappear from my life and then come back, and then it would still be the same. There wouldn't be any difference. Right. Whereas in lockdown, I didn't have the opportunity to run away. I had to sit down between the four walls and actually work on myself and actually do the work. You know, it's something that you need to do. Yes, I think that's a good example as well, where you have to make a choice about how you're going to experience something and what you're going to take away from it, if that makes sense. 100%. I kind of talked around in circles there.
No, huge insights. I'm totally on the same page. No, honestly, it made perfect sense. Do you think, because if we backtrack a little bit, you spoke about sometimes you feel like you're on that robotic routine and you would prefer to live life to the fullest and find the joy in things. Do you feel like for you, was it a mindset that you can quickly turn to pull yourself out of that? Or is it a ritual? Or in NLP, we talk about anchoring, where we can be in a certain state all of a sudden to pull ourselves out of something or change the way that we behave. What do you think it was for you to constantly remind yourself that you're here to live life?
Going back to the term anchoring, I created anchors for myself within my daily routines. Beautiful. So for me personally, it was taking a daily walk in the park and just actually taking that time. And if I was getting a bit frustrated or experiencing a bit of anxiety, I would just, know that this is my time that I need to go, and I would create that anchor of walking in the park and actually just breathing and going through my thoughts. And I want to say looking at it from a rational perspective and being able to take myself out of my own head. Yep. Yeah. So
like a meditative so it was process almost, like on a walk. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Yeah, cool. Yep.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I love about NLP is you can create those tools for yourself.
That's huge.
And be able to do that. It's massive. That's
Yeah.
massive. Yeah. And it helps a lot with the switching of the mindset as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just those little tools of the anchoring, and I suppose just having that awareness as well. I think that's something that NLP has done for me as well, is that self-awareness. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll hear, if anyone is a part of Wild or you've heard anything about Calvin, he preaches awareness precedes change. It's one of his biggest takeaways. So yeah, you're right. Having front awareness of things that are either holding you back or where you find that your mindset tries to trail off, as it does. We're only human, but just it's okay to acknowledge it. And yes, it's happening to me, but what am I going to do about it? Kind of mindset. That's really big. And how did it go in UK with restrictions? Like, were you still able to take those outside walks during lockdowns, or how did you go in that process trying to keep positive?
So a lot of the stores actually closed down, and we couldn't go to each other's houses or interact, or if you went outside, you had to stay 6 feet apart. But we were still allowed to go to the parks. It was just you could meet up in the parks and obviously just keep your distance and that type of thing. I love salsa dancing, so that was a huge impact on me, because dancing was another way that I kind of just really would lose myself in as well. So that was another thing that so I suppose the walks kind of replaced the dancing.
Yeah.
And then I took to I found a woman in Dubai. So I used to do belly dancing when I was much younger.
Me too. It's so much fun. Yeah. Beautiful.
So much fun.
Yeah.
It is so much fun. It is. So the first time I picked up belly dancing, I'd actually just come out of an abusive relationship, and I found that it really helped empower me and gain my confidence back.
Perfect.
So this time around, when I took it up again, I found a woman in Dubai who's absolutely fantastic. So she does online classes, and I'm still carrying on now, even though we're out of lockdown.
That's
So
amazing.
I found that so I found that was a really good tool for me as well to again be confident and feel empowered, I suppose, was through the dancing. So yeah.
I love that. And having those rituals or something that you always have to go back to empower yourself, because a lot of the times we have to rely on ourselves. We can't always reach out for the help we need or find a connection that's going to empower us. We have to find those rituals and those routines that do it for ourselves, especially with confidence. And you obviously talk about connection being something really important to you. Did you find different ways to meet that connection need and what that meant to you during COVID? Was there different ways that you went about it?
I suppose one of the benefits of COVID was that I actually learned to connect with myself.
Huge.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like I said earlier, one of my go-to tools was packing my bags and going to travel, and, you know, whereas now I was actually forced to actually sit down and connect with myself. And I found that really valuable, because I don't need something on the outside to make me feel valued or to empower me or to I learned to connect with my own self, because that's what I need, if that makes sense.
Wow. Yeah. And that must have been huge for you to realize that everything that you were looking for from other people, you can find within yourself.
Exactly.
Shit, we're getting deep here.
Very deep.
That's incredible though, Claire. I love that. Did you take note of those aha moments for yourself, and did you put them into a routine, and you made sure that you, I don't know, either practice gratitude every day, or did you have like positive affirmations you'd say to yourself in the mirror? Like, how did you incorporate that into your routine to remind yourself daily that you are worth it and you are powerful and you are confident, you have everything you need?
So my daily, I have affirmations everywhere across my flat. I've got them on all my mirrors. So when I'm brushing my teeth, I have affirmations on my mirror. I have affirmations that hang up in my lounge area. I've got affirmations around my workstation. I've got affirmations on my fridge. It's all about, like, you know, loving yourself and your healthy body. And I'm a warrior, I'm a survivor. I give myself permission, which is also one thing that I think is really important, is that we give ourselves the permission as well, to do whatever we need to do. Meditation is a big one for me, particularly in going for the walks in the park, but also just sitting down and taking a moment to just go within myself.
Yeah.
And journaling as well is really important, because that helps you. It helps you, I suppose, work it out in your head. And it's I think it's really important that we do handwritten journaling.
Yeah.
I've got a whole stack of colored pens and books, and that's how I journal.
Yeah. Just get whatever's out in your head out onto paper. And I tend to say to some of my clients, even if it doesn't make sense, like, it's getting it out of your head, so it's not that noise and it's not consuming you or taking over your thoughts. It's acknowledging it, releasing it in whatever shape or form it looks like. Even if it doesn't make sense, just get it out there. But if anyone's not sure what anchoring is, a lot of that stuff that you're doing is creating visual anchors for yourself, right? Like posting the visual notes all around yourself. That's a visual anchor. So I think that's another thing I talk to my clients about, write it on your note and stick it on the fridge and in the bathroom. So I'm really proud that you're doing that. Good job. That's awesome. Perfect. So tell the listeners a little bit about how you came across Wild and why you chose to learn more from us and be a part of the tribe.
So the story about Wild is, I think my subconscious mind came across you in the universe somewhere, if I have to be completely honest.
Well, we make you think that happened. No, I'm just kidding. You definitely manifested us for sure.
No, I'm sure I did. I was actually speaking to somebody the other day about the story, where I was saying that I was looking at launching my coaching business, and I was working with another company at the time, and I just felt that I wasn't getting what I needed in launching it through, and another coaching business at the time. And I just kept on thinking, this is what and I started listing out what I needed to learn from a coach in starting my own business. And I said to somebody that it was really strange, because I started getting these emails coming through saying, from Wild Success, saying, you're booked on our 14-day challenge. And I was thinking, when did I sign up for that?
You would just slide in there.
Obviously I signed up. I do remember signing up for it, but at the time, I think it was through one of your Facebook posts. But at the time I was sitting there and I was thinking, I don't remember signing up for this. And then I went on to the 14-day challenge. And I think I think it was 14-day challenge at the time. And I think by the third session, I was like hooked. I still remember saying to Calvin in my first call with him, I have got more value from you in 3 days than I did from this other person in 8 weeks.
That's incredible.
So that is how my journey with Wild Success began. And my journey with Wild Success will continue, because you guys are absolutely fabulous. Like, I mean, the values that you bring through are just absolutely amazing, and they're completely evident within the whole team across the board. The Masters of Coaching and the Art of Coaching programs that I've done with you are completely phenomenal. I've also done launch with you guys as well, where just that knowledge and that skill set and that kind of if I can say that, Calvin gives you the oomph to go and just do it.
Backs you 100% for sure. And I think a lot of people experience a little bit of uncomfortableness, because the point of it is to push you past your boundaries. Whereas if you were on your own, you wouldn't hold yourself accountable like that. So a lot of the time we do push your buttons, as some people have called it. But, on the other side of that is success and comfortability for you guys. So obviously another reason we wanted you on the show today is we've seen huge growth from you in the Masters of Coaching program. For anyone listening, that's our 12-week Masters of NLP program that we do for our clients. And you're one of the people we wanted to showcase, just because you continue to show up and make stuff happen. And it's been a huge testament on your behalf of what's possible if you show up and get it done. So what have been some of the highlights for you in the program so far?
Oh, where do I start?
Like, what week is it? I don't
Where
even
know.
There's so much.
Yes. I think it's just, I know you spoke a lot about it's a testament for me how I show up, but I think it's a testament for Wild how I show up as well, because you guys show up 100%. I can't then turn around and not show up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know that if I'm showing up 110%, I've got the Wild team behind me supporting me along the way. So I think the calls and the support that you get from yourself on the course, and with Jason and Calvin, and just being able to, I think the biggest thing for me was implementing the tools within my own life, because then I know that they work and I can pass them on to other people. Being able to take those tools that you learn within MOC or Masters of Coaching and making an impact on somebody else's life.
And that's all we want.
That is amazing.
Yeah. That's all we want. And that's huge. You know, one of our, what do we call it? The mission statement or something like that for our business is to impact. We want our coaches to graduate, and we want it to be a domino effect, that the coaches that we graduate then go on to change more lives. And it's just this ongoing ripple effect. So the fact that you're not only implementing it in your own life, which is evident from the conversation we've had today that you are, but just you're wanting to share the knowledge and change other people's lives around you is, that's why we love you, girlfriend.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. No, you've done really well. We're really proud of you.
Yeah, but I think it's thank you, firstly, thank you. Yeah, but it's but I think it's nice when you see the impact that it has on somebody else's life as well. Like, I mean, I did a coaching session recently where I did a belief change with someone, and it was just completely phenomenal. And about a week later, I had a call with the person, and they were so funny about it, but they said this stuff works. It's like really works.
Funny that. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm getting emotional for you. I'm very proud of you. Yeah, it's huge, isn't it? It's such a short tool that we can use in 10, 15 minutes, and we can impact someone's lives so in such a massive way. So good for you for getting out there and doing it. That's good.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's all about the ripple effect and the impact that you can make on other people. And again, that goes back to connection.
Yes.
And being connected. And
yeah, that's what I was going to say for you. That's perfect. And just a curiosity question from myself. Did you have a plan to move into your full-time coaching business? Or because obviously you're getting a lot of those connection needs met, and that sense of serving people and connecting to people and changing lives, is that obviously the direction that you're heading in for your own personal business to eventually be in that full-time?
Yeah, I think definitely I would say definitely within the next couple of years, but not just yet. I would like to be in a position where, it's going to sound really strange, but if I wanted to pack up a camper van and go travel around Europe, I can.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, perfect. And that's the lifestyle you want to create for yourself. So I definitely appreciate that. Well, we're wishing you all the best on that journey. And definitely we know that you're capable of that and so much more. So I do hope you stay. Another one of the people on the podcast called it the Wild Train. So I'm going to continue it. We hope you stay on the Wild Train because we want to watch all of your success. And regardless, Wild will always be here for you. So we're very, very proud of you. And we're very grateful to have you in the community and such a superstar that you are.
Oh, thank you so much. And if I can say that every single day, part of my gratitude list is meeting the Wild team. So so it is
I'm not
absolutely.
Crying.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
But you guys are definitely like on my gratitude list every single day. So and the whole team. Yeah, you've just been absolutely phenomenal. And I think if anything, I can give testimony of how you can change people's lives. So, yeah. Thank you.
That's powerful. Yeah, I love that. Is there, so for the listeners that want to get to know a bit more about Claire and what she does, if you really resonate with her, do you want to plug some of your social media or where people can find a bit more about you or any of your business ventures?
Sure. So people are welcome to follow me on social media. My handle
You're getting used to the lingo.
Yeah. So my coaching company is Coaching Through Clarity. So it's getting clarity on what you want, which obviously comes from Clara. Yay. Yeah. And then my Instagram handle is Claire Brown CTC 101. And then you can just find me on LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. Yeah, so I'm pretty much, if you just look for Coaching Through Clarity, you can find me on there. Complete transparency, I'm an Instagram person, so please.
That's fine. Yeah, we'll leave everything in the show notes as well. So if anyone wants to know where to look after you've heard this as well, just head straight to the show notes, and everything for Claire will be in there. And I always ask, is there any parting wisdom you have for anyone listening, or a final little legacy note you'd like to leave for our listeners from yourself? Put you on the spot.
I would say, yeah, you have. I think if there's one thing that people should take away, is that you are the master and creator of your own life. Don't let anybody take away your power. Whether you do something, people are going to gossip. Whether you don't do something, people are going to gossip. So go out there and do whatever you want to anyway. Wow. As long as it makes you happy.
Goosebumps. I love that. I feel like I want to print that and put it on my wall, or my affirmations around my house every morning. I love that. That's so powerful. Good on you, babe. Beautiful. Well, it was an absolute pleasure talking to you today, Claire. I know the listeners will get a lot of value from us. So don't forget to follow her in the show notes. All of her information will be linked. But thank you guys so much for listening, and thanks for coming on the show today, Claire.
And thank you for having me, Jade. I really appreciate it. So yeah, it's been fantastic.
Beautiful. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, definitely. And stay out of get all cozy in the rain for you.
Well, yeah, it's a bit wet, but I'll try and stay inside and dodge the rain. But hopefully the sun will come out soon. So sending positive sun vibes.
Yes.
Beautiful. We'll see you later, Claire.
Okay, take care.